Hi, my name is Sadie, and I'm here with my colleague Harjeet. And today we're going to talk about loss and damage. So when we say loss and damage, we mean the most severe impacts from climate change. So we're talking about damage to property, damage to infrastructure, the loss of life, health issues, also issues such as loss of culture, loss of ecosystems. And these events don't always have to be climate-induced disasters. They can also be slow onset events like desertification and sea level rise.
Yeah, Sadie, as you said, this is a very important issue at the negotiations here in Madrid. And when young people are demanding that politicians need to address climate emergency, this is what climate emergency means. So the lingo is slightly different. We are calling it loss and damage in the negotiations, but it essentially means how do we address climate emergency? And that requires an institutional response to the kind of crisis we're already facing. We are talking about millions of people getting affected. As we speak, 60 million people in southern and eastern Africa are at risk from changing climate vagaries, and that's the situation. 9 million Africans are facing food shortage, and that number is going to go up to 45 million in the next 6 months. So that's climate emergency. It's here and now, and we want negotiators here to create a system where these people can be helped automatically and not based on somebody's whims and fancies when they decide to give money or not.
Yeah, and loss and damage, the effects aren't only limited to developing countries. In fact, we do experience them in North America. For example, when we see hurricanes and floods affecting our coastlines, that's some substantial damage that people are facing. The difference being that in the US, for example, we have the resources to deal with those damages through our governments. But the problem is in developing countries, they often don't have those resources to deal with damage and loss from climate impacts. And so that's one of our main asks is for the UN to establish a financing facility on loss and damage that can channel money directly to those developing countries that are most affected by climate impacts.
Exactly, Sadie. And if I talk about the scale, there are numerous analyses now indicate that we will need at least $300 billion a year by 2030, and the amount may go up to $1.2 trillion a year. So that's the scale of damage we need to deal with. And unless we have an institutionalized response, a system that helps people in developing countries, we will not be doing justice to people who are not even responsible for the crisis. So it's really important to have this financing facility established here and then create a system for task force so that can unpack what this financing facility is going to look like. So that's what we are demanding, and developing countries made that point absolutely clear here to the UN system and the negotiators from rich countries that this is absolutely must, and we should not leave Madrid without financing facility.
Thanks.